Okay, so we're making that Danish braid. And already you saw I made the prune filling. This is another part of it. It's called the pastry cream or confectioner's cream. And typically, I don't know if you've ever done confectioner's cream or pastry cream or creme anglaise, perhaps. Usually what you would do is you would boil your milk component, in this case heavy cream. Not boil, but you'd get it up to just about a boil. And then you'd very slowly whisk it into an egg yolk. And then you'd mix in sugar. And then once it's all blended, then you would cook it down and keep stirring it so that you don't get any egg clumps in it. And the whole idea is to make sure the egg doesn't curdle, so you don't have scrambled eggs. And you get this nice, silky, creamy consistency. And then you would add your vanilla at the end. But today, I'm going to do this right out of Julia's book, and she does it in the microwave. And we use a little bit of cornstarch for that. So, for this particular recipe, it doesn't have to be, like you want to be a snob about it. Yeah, don't do it this way. But it's actually really good. And we use the microwave. It's faster, it's easier, and let's get cracking. Oh, by the way, so this particular component, when we make the Danish braid, we're going to roll out the Danish pastry. And then we're going to put down a layer of prune, and then we're going to put down a layer of this confectioner's cream on top of that, and then braid it over it. So you'll see all that when we assemble the braid, but just going to give you the step-by-step. So I'm going to measure out a cup of heavy cream, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, I don't remember how much sugar. I think it's going to be 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'll double check that. A teaspoon of vanilla and 1 egg yolk. But we're going to save the white because that white is going to glaze the braid when we bake it. Okay, so here we go. We're all measured out, right? I'm going to do, this is 2 tablespoons of sugar. I was talking wrong earlier. 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, so that's 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then what I'm going to do is whisk in this cream. And then I'm going to throw it in the microwave, believe it or not, which is crazy, right? I've never done this. Well, I have done this before because I've used this recipe many times. But in the past, I have always done my creme anglaise or my pastry cream on the stove the traditional way. So this is going to go in the microwave. And I'm going to get it to the boil. And then this is going in here, the yolk. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Goes in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix the heated liquid into here a little bit, then we're going to throw it back into here and then put it back in the microwave. Okay, so this is after 2 minutes. Look at what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of that hot liquid into the egg. Put a little bit more. So you see what it's this way I don't make scrambled eggs. Isn't that amazing? And this, this typically, now maybe regular creme anglaise doesn't include cornstarch, and I'm sure it doesn't. But you see how much easier this is. I'm making a nice confectioner's cream. And this is probably the way they do it at like Dunkin' Donuts, you know what I mean? Because they don't have time to be, doing it the classic French way. Okay, and I'm going to mix that up. And that's going back in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And then the confectioner's cream is done. Okay, so check it out. That's 30 seconds more in the microwave. I'm just going to whisk it up. And look at that. There's your confectioner's cream. It's a nice, thick vanilla cream. And that adds a lovely texture to the Danish braid. And now I'm going to put it in a smaller container and put it in the fridge. Well, let's let it cool first. And then I'm going to put it in a smaller container, stick it in the fridge because I'm not using it till tomorrow. And that's it. Isn't that great? Look at that. Here, hold on. Let's get a taste of that. It's fantastic. Okay, so there's my pastry cream transferred to a smaller container. And now I'm just going to let that cool. And once it cools, I'm going to throw it in the fridge, and then we use it tomorrow.